Hi, I'm Ashley, and this is the corner of the internet where I talk about my knitting. I live in a small studio apartment with my boyfriend Angel and our two dogs, Yaku and Chango. Excuse me. Yaku and Chango are not with us for this week. They are staying with my parents. We often swap the dogs between my parents' house and here so that we can both enjoy our little fur babies. So you won't be seeing them in this video, but they'll definitely be back. First, I'd like to talk about what I'm wearing, which is my finished object. You guys, I finished my Paul cardigan.
The Paul cardigan is worked from top down in stockinette. The left and right shoulders are worked separately before being joined into a single piece. The Paul cardigan has an oversized fit and is designed to have approximately 25 centimeters or 9 3/4 inches of positive ease. I used Daughter of a Shepherd in the color Ammonite as the base. It is a 100% British wool, 50% Hybridian, and 50% Exmoor Blueface. I used Easy Air Alpaca 1 to bring the fingering weight of the Daughter of a Shepherd to a sport weight. As you know, this is my go-to lace mohair alternative.
I am so happy with how this cardigan turned out. I knitted a few cardigans in the past and they just have never worked out. For me personally, the patterns were great. It's just, I don't know if it was the fit. I just don't generally wear cardigans that often, but I do really want a cardigan that I can just throw on when I'm in the apartment, or like what I'm wearing now where I could wear, you know, a white tee underneath and I just look very put together. And that's why I decided to go with Mareka Knit, just because I really look up to her as a designer and I trust her quite a bit to make a really good garment, and this is exactly what that is. It is such a great cardigan. I mean, because of the neck shaping, I don't have to fuss over it. It stays on my shoulders. I love the yarn that I used, and I am so happy with the bison horn buttons that I put on it. So I just love this like completely natural, you know, 100% wool, undyed, you know, nature inspired and nature collected button cardigan. I am just so thrilled with it, and so I am really looking forward to wearing this more often. I've already been wearing it a lot and I just love it. Next, I did finish the Sophie hood by Petite Knit.
The Sophie hood is worked in one piece from tip to tip. It is worked flat back and forth in garter stitch with built-in I-cord edges. The hood is shaped using increases and decreases, and the back is sewn together at the end using mattress stitch. I used Rockin' R Alpaca Ranch Sport as the base,
you know, like
which is a yarn that we got from a small-owned business in Conifer, Colorado. I paired this with knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in the color Brown Bear to bring some halo and extra warmth to this hood.
I was really surprised how quickly this knit went by. You could easily knit one of these in a weekend. I did knit the smallest like size, so maybe that has a factor to it, but it is plenty, like the size is great for me. You know, it's super practical. I love how soft it is. I love the color. I feel so chic wearing it when I'm out and about, especially when I put sunglasses on. I feel like a but yeah, this pattern was just super great. Since all the Sophie, like, what would I say, like the Sophie I don't know, roundup that Petite Knit has, because she has the Sophie shawl, the Sophie scarf, and now the Sophie hood. Since I do have the Sophie hood, I can kind of already know what the other two patterns kind of hold in its structure, and so I think I can easily modify the pattern to make a scarf or a shawl. So I am planning on maybe making either some Sophie shawls or Sophie scarves with some, you know, leftover skeins that I have, or random skeins that I have in my pantry. So, but I super recommend it. I mean, it is just so cute, and I loved the material that I used. The soft silk mohair gives it some extra warmth and halo, and the alpaca is so soft and also so warm. So I did end up with some leftover yarn. So I do have, I cracked into a little bit of the Rockin' R Alpaca Sport. So each of these were 400 yards. So I used one full 400 yards, and I cracked into a little bit of the second one. I would say I probably cracked into maybe 5 grams, not even. So I think you could get away with a, you know, a full skein, maybe a 500 yard skein, if you can find it and pair it, you know, do your thing. And I also have some more of the soft silk mohair in the color Brown Bear. And so I thought it'd be really cute for me to make some gloves to pair along with my Sophie hood. So I do have a pattern in my library. Let me find that. So it is I'm gonna mispronounce it. I think it's in maybe Swedish, dröm half gloves. So dröm means dream. And it looks like some kind of company called Jarbo or Jarbo. And so they are fingerless gloves with like a nice little like leaf pattern on the top. I prefer fingerless gloves because I like having my fingers free so that I could, you know, use my phone, and it just gives that extra warmth that kind of extends to my fingers anyways. So yeah, that's kind of my next plan. We'll see if I get that knit up before this winter is over. Next, I'd like to talk about the knitting goals that I have for 2025, since it is the new year. Happy New Year, everyone, and I hope you're having a great start to this year. And so I have 5 goals. And so the first one I have is to plan my knits for the year. To kind of go into more detail of what I'm talking about is, you know, I am not a big, I'm finding that I'm not really into summer knits. The most that I would like to do for a summer garment are tees. Those are what I tend to wear the most, oversized tees. And so over the summer, I would like to, you know, maybe have a a few summer garments on the needles, but I would like to spin the majority of my summer. I would like to kind of do the whole preparing for winter kind of ritual where I spin, you know, a lot over the summer so that I have some yarn to be included to my pantry for the colder season. But included in that, you know, I would like to kind of plan my knits more in the sense of, okay, the upcoming season is on its way. What can I knit that, you know, a garment will be completed by that time so that I can enjoy it for that season. So that just means planning ahead a little bit. I would like to use my Ravelry Q section more this year. I think that would kind of help me plan better on what to cast on next, depending on, you know, what season is coming up. And so, you know, I am happy with my recent cast-ons since I casted off my Paul cardigan. I finished a Sophie hood, which was super quick. You know, I casted on the September sweater, which is a worsted, you know, winter knit. I also casted on the waffle loop sweater, which is also going to be like an oversized winter garment. So I'm hoping to get those completed by this winter so I can wear them a little bit. And that means that my Diane sweater that I've shown in this channel a few times, it is a sweater. It is a DK weight, but it's a lighter DK weight. And so I am going to put that on hold until the approach of spring, because I think it would be a great transitional season garment. So I'm going to put that one on hold. And so this is kind of what I mean by like planning, you know. I'm starting to shift around what knits I do have and kind of placing them on hold to be worked on a better time, and really capitalizing on warmer garments right now while it's still cold. My second goal for this year is to spin. You know, with my new wonderfully gifted spinning wheel that Angel so kindly gifted to me. Oh, I love him so much. I want to continue spinning. I have just been so enjoying it. I have been spinning a couple times a day. I have created, you know, a few skeins of yarn from a Corriedale roving that I have. That's pretty much like my practice spinning wool at this time. I'm not even weighing it at this point. I'm just playing with it. I actually ended up spinning or applying together some Corriedale that I hand spun. So I hand spun a thread, and then I spun the other thread, and I applied those two together just to see how it turned out. So I've just been playing with it and it's been so enjoying it. My plan is to spin in this way, so, you know, experimentally spinning, you know, figuring things out with the Corriedale, seeing how consistent I can get it for the next 3 months, which is going to be January, February, March. After that 3 months of really practicing, you know, spinning pretty much every day, I would like to spin some yarn for a scarf. So that is my like solid goal and plan for 2025 is I would like to spin some yarn, enough yarn for a shawl. I do have some new roving from a company called Hip Strings. I got it off the Woolery website. They tend to have a lot of, you know, comb top and roving, even bats that are pretty affordable and accessible. So I went ahead and bought some. It is in the color Otter. It is and these percentages are kind of interesting. It is a 37.5% blue face Leicester wool, 37.5% Shetland wool, and 25% Manx Logtan wool. I'm guessing that is another type of sheep breed that I've never heard of. But it's this really nice kind of multicolored wool. Considering the breeds that I do recognize, it is going to be a long staple length, which is good for me as a beginner. And so that potentially could become a yarn that I would spin up for a shawl that I can start hopefully knitting by autumn. Goal number 3 would be for me to knit a hat for Angel. I would like to knit some type of item for Angel every year. So that would most likely be a bunch of accessories, but I do want to knit him a cardigan sometime in the future. I have knitted him a sweater, and so I, wouldn't mind knitting him something else, something that we're finding out. I mean, we know that he suffers quite a bit from eczema, so he has very sensitive skin. And so with these knits, I do want to be very careful on what type of material to make for him, just to make sure that it's soft enough and gentle enough for his skin. So for Christmas, I did buy him a skein of yarn from Camellia Fiber Co., which, if you're familiar with this company, she makes very soft, very, I would say, accessible fiber where it's probably going to be very tolerable for a majority of people. And so I got him this beautiful blue, greenish blue skein of yarn. It is non-superwash, which is kind of my, I guess the caveat is that, I don't want to knit with anything that's synthetic. I have moved away from superwash as well. And so that kind of makes finding the type of wool that I would like to make garments for Angel a little bit more difficult, but it is possible. This yarn is the CFC Yak DK. I had knitted a hat for Angel that was in a yak. It was like a yak llama mix, and yak is extremely soft. It's a luxury yarn, and so he tolerates that hat extremely well. So I figured that this would be a great option. So this is 65% SW merino wool, which is a very, very soft wool, 20% silk, soft, 15% yak, super soft. It's 230 yards, and the color is blue jasmine. And so I figured I would knit a hat for him this year. Like I've said, I've knitted several hats for him, and this couldn't have come at a better time, like this plan, because when me and Angel were up house sitting for some friends, we did a load of laundry, and so I kind of threw, everything in the dryer, and when it was done, because Angel's working at the time, so I kind of took over the, doing the laundry. And so when I took out everything from the dryer, you guys, I'm so careful about this stuff, and I felted one of his hats that I knitted him. Oh, I felt so bad. It was one of his favorite hats. It was a superwash yarn. It was like all black with some yellow speckles. So cute. I got that yarn from a Irish brand. So it was super cool, super unique. It was kind of baggy in the back. It was like a baggy beanie which he prefers. And now, I mean, it's completely felted and he can almost fit it over his head. And so he's been wearing it, but I owe him a new hat. So I'll just have to be more careful in the future. My fourth goal of the year is I am wanting to steek my first garment. I have never steeked before. Like any other knitter that's never steeked before, it's scary, but I want to do it. So I have plans to make the Nordic Bloom vest by Caitlin Hunter. It is a beautiful vest that, you know, opens in the front with some buttons, and it has color work like a floral motif. It's knitted in a worsted weight yarn, and you steek it. I do want to learn to steek because I do enjoy color work cardigans, and the thought of knitting color work flat sounds awful. I don't want to learn that. And so I think there's just so much benefits to learning how to steek. I could, knit a cardigan in the round until the end and just steek it and add the button band and the buttons. It seems like a very convenient cheat when it comes to making an enjoyable knit and kind of taking away the purl rows of a flat knitted garment. So this garment looks stunning. I am planning on using the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino that I have in my pantry. And I am so excited to steek. I do have a sewing machine, so I could add some reinforced seam before I steek or after I steek that garment, and so that kind of gives me more confidence. But on top of that, since the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino is a 100% wool, it's pretty toothy, I think it would be pretty safe to just steek it, and the stitches aren't going to go anywhere. So I'm looking forward to that, and I can't wait to take you guys along on that process. Finally, my final goal for 2025 is to grow this channel. I have super recently started this channel. I thought it would just be a good idea to help me find a knitting community. I've heard from several of the podcasters that I watch that they love the community that they have on YouTube, and I want to find that. I am slowly growing subscribers, but yeah, I just want to be consistent this year of making these videos once a week, as well as adding some shorts, in between that time. And just, whether I grow a community or a large subscribe list or not, I think it would just be great to even just, document my knitting journey in a vlog journal form. And since I've just started spinning, I think it's just going to be so cool to look back at my spinning journey through these videos. So I am grateful for the subscribers that I do have, and I'm just hoping to grow it more, and I'll be happy whether it does or it doesn't. So that ends the talking portion of my video. As you know, I separate my videos to having a you know, section where I talk about what I finished, what my plans are, what I'm working on, and then the second half of my video, I take you guys along with me in vlog form to coffee shops or even in my apartment as I knit and spin with some music in the background. So as you can see, I kind of have a Miyazaki theme going on. I'm a really big Miyazaki fan, and I got Angel on that bandwagon. He loves Miyazaki films, and so I have a little Miyazaki coffee shop background going on. I am drinking from my No Face mug that Angel bought me, which I love so much. And as you'll see, this week while I was spinning, I watched Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro is very special to me. It was one of those movies that I always wanted to rent from Blockbuster growing up. I just love that movie, and watching it again is just so nostalgic and such a beautiful movie. And Spirited Away is just, you know, incredible. So you'll see that throughout the rest of this video. And so yeah, enjoy this week. I hope you're having a good start to your new year, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's get crafting.